My Hero Academia, 10 Villains to Keep Your Eye On Before Diving into the Paranormal Liberation War Arc. My Hero Academia's Paranormal Liberation War arc features many important villains to pay close attention to. As the name itself implies, My Hero Academia is not a show that places a lot of focus on its villains. Standouts like Stain, All for One, and Overhaul are the exception, but even a character like Tamura Shigaraki still has a long way to go before earning fans' respect. Deku's journey to master his powerful quirk has distracted viewers from the impending threat of Tamura Shigaraki and the League of Villains for far too long. It is time for fans to begin keeping track of these villains. Or else they'll be forced to recognize them during the arc that will shatter the world of My Hero Academia. 10. Dabi's backstory. Powerful quirk will blur the line between hero-villain. Manga readers and dedicated anime fans may have already connected the dots that make up Dabi's backstory. The blue-eyed, flame-wielding villain is exactly the sort of character one might expect to come from Endeavor's toxic household. However, until the Paranormal Liberation War arc, fans are left to speculate on his identity. The focus that the upcoming arc puts on the villains of MHA is bound to lead viewers further into Dabi's background. Perhaps it'll finally be revealed how he's ended up with all those scars. 9. Tamura Shigaraki will eventually live up to his role as series antagonist. The main antagonist behind the plot of My Hero Academia has shifted from arc to arc, but it may finally be time for Tamura Shigaraki to enter the fray as the main antagonist. Shigaraki has always made an impression on viewers thanks to his creepy costume and terrifying decay quirk. The ability to deconstruct anything he touches is enough to prop him up as All for One's successor. And it'll be interesting to see if it's also enough to support him as he faces off against the combined might of Class 1A. 8. Himiko Toga's recent power-up makes her a top-tier villain. Himiko may not be up to anything particularly nefarious going into the Paranormal Liberation War arc, but her quirk demands that fans watch the shapeshifter closely. In fact, knowing that Toga keeps vials of old blood in her utility belt may even have fans going back to find out who she has copied in the past to predict where she will be in the future. If fans fail to keep track of Himiko, she may just pop up at the worst possible moment and bring about the doom that has been lingering in the air of MHA since All Might's retirement. 7. Kyudai Garaki may be new to the anime, but he's worth keeping an eye on. Kyudai Garaki is not a name that many MHA fans would recognize without first doing a bit of research. The villainous mastermind currently serves Tamura Shigaraki in the MHA manga, but until All for One's successor proves his strength against Gigantomachi, Kyudai will remain loyal to no one but himself and his former master. 6. Kurogyri helps fans better understand the seemingly endless supply of Nomus. Episode 108 of the My Hero Academia spends a lot of time with the villains of the main series. The main plot of the episode titled My Villain Academia sees Tamura Shigaraki face off against Gigantomachia while the B-plot spends time with Kurogyri. The teleporting Nomu is one of the most essential members of the League of Villains due to his compliant nature and useful quirk. Though Eraserhead and Present Mike yearly breaks through this Nomu's cold disposition, the villain will surely return to ruin Deku's day at least once during the upcoming war arc. 5. Rikiya Yatsubashi currently serves as a leader, but the future has different plans for Redestro. The leader of the Meta Liberation Army has yet to concede his position as the sole leader of MHA's massive cast of villains. But after the Meta Liberation Army arc wraps, Rikiya will be forced to serve under Tamura Shigaraki in the League of Villains. This doesn't mean Rikiya is relegated to the sidelines though. In fact, Redestro is named one of the 9 lieutenants of the Paranormal Liberation Front and serves as a perfect example of the strength hiding behind the destructive hands of Tamura Shigaraki. 4. Lady Nagant doesn't make her debut until late into the Paranormal Liberation War arc. Lady Nagant has yet to make her anime debut, but manga readers know to look out for her name when the upcoming Paranormal Liberation War arc makes it on screen. The former hero-turned-villain makes a powerful impression on Deku during the final chapters of the war arc and will surely make an impression on viewers as well. The combination of her marksmanship and her ability to draw empathy out of characters and readers is worth recognizing, so viewers can keep an eye on her in future episodes of the anime. 3. Shuichi Iguchi will one day live up to the example set by hero killer Stain. The spiritual successor to Stain often has his own achievements overlooked, but the Paranormal Liberation War arc is bound to pull the lizard villain out of Stain's shadow. When the Meta Liberation Army attacks Japan, Shuichi may have his chance to stand out as a member of the League of Villains who is proud of his villainous philosophy. Stain and Iguchi may be villains by name, but their devotion to a code of ethics allows them to stand out where other villains fall short. So far, only Stain has been given credit for being both philosophical and villainous. But Iguchi still has his chance. 2. The Path of Destruction, carved by Gigantomachia, wherever he goes makes him an easy villain to keep track of. Gigantomachia is the beast who once sought to crush Tamura Shigaraki for claiming the villainous throne that All for One handed to him. But he will soon learn to respect Shigaraki for his strength. Once that day comes, fans will be best watching over Gigantomachia, as his trail of destruction often sets the stage for the rest of the League of Villains to make their entrance. Where Gigantomachia is breaking things, the League of Villains is sure to be close behind, which makes him the perfect beast to track. 1. All for One may be locked up for now, but fans should be wary of his impending prison break. The way All for One has calmly remained in solitary confinement since being defeated by All Might is frightening for a number of different reasons. The first reason has to do with his status as the main threat to All Might, the former #1 hero. Fans of the superhero genre know that main antagonists rarely stay locked up for long. And All for One seems to be ready for freedom. The second reason All for One's captivity is frightening has to do with the devoted followers he has recruited over the years. After being introduced to Gigantomachia and Kyudai Garaki in episode 108, it seemed as if All for One could have escaped prison whenever he wanted to. The next arc will see All for One return to action, but it may not be in the role that fans expect.